everybody, we're back. We were away for a little while, but now we're back to Broadway.com's Live at 5. I'm Beth Stevens.
I'm Andy Lefkowitz.
And we are here with Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
And we are so lucky because we
God.
have a very special guest. Jelani Remy from Smokey Joe's Cafe is
Yes.
here.
Yes.
Oh, look, everybody's excited. But first, our top 5.
Yes.
Unfortunately, a Broadway icon has passed away.
Yes, so we're going to start with some sad news today.
That's big news.
Yeah, legendary playwright Neil Simon passed away yesterday at age 91 here in New York City due to complications from pneumonia. As you guys all know, Neil Simon was a Tony and Pulitzer-winning playwright of The Odd Couple, Brighton Beach Memoirs, Biloxi Blues,
Like 30 plays
Broadway
on Broadway.
Bound, Lost in Yonkers. The list
Wow.
goes on and on. Iconic American playwright.
He has a theater named after him.
Yeah, he sure does. Yeah, and that's
Cher
where the
Show.
Cher Show is going this fall.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, so may Neil Simon rest in peace. And also, the Broadway League announced today that all of the Broadway theaters are going to dim their lights on August 30th in memory of Neil Simon.
And that's Thursday.
Yep.
And we got some lovely casting news last week.
Okay, we're switching gears. We're very sad about Neil Simon, but we are thrilled because Laura Benanti is going into My Fair Lady. This is a
Yes.
perfect soprano going into a perfect soprano role.
Yes.
She's taking over for Tony nominee Lauren Ambrose. She begins on October 23rd and will play a limited run through February 17th.
Yes, she's
This is
gonna be
exciting.
amazing.
Of course she will.
And this is her dream role.
She's
going to be.
Yeah, she's been tweeting like crazy.
Yeah.
And Instagramming.
Seriously.
She's all about it. She's super
Yes.
excited. Of course, she won a Tony for Gypsy, and she was most recently on Broadway in Meteor Shower.
And we have a new musical that's dancing its way to Broadway.
Yeah, so the new Temptations musical, Aint Too Proud,
Excited.
has announced that it is arriving on Broadway in the spring of 2019. Now, this new show will play the Imperial Theater, which is the current home of Carousel. We don't have exact dates yet, but we can look forward to seeing that production in the spring. Right now, the show is playing Center Theater Group in LA, after which it'll arrive in Toronto for a brief engagement.
They've been working on it in different
they've
places
been
around
rocking
the
it
world.
around the
Yeah.
country. So I cannot wait to see this show on Broadway.
And there's going to be a new Mr. Cellophane in town.
Really? Well, no.
Right?
No, it's Billy Flynn.
Billy
Okay,
Flynn.
sorry.
I thought
Mr.
Billy Flynn was
Cellophane is
Oh, so
Amos.
close, though.
So good.
I was
All right.
really close. I
Keep
tried.
A
Amos
School of the
Cellophane
Children in
then.
Chicago.
All right,
Tried.
let's do
Mr. Cellophane is Amos Hart. But Cuba Gooding Jr., who is an Oscar winner, will be playing Billy Flynn. This is
Yeah.
not his Broadway debut. He was in The Trip to Bountiful playing Cicely Tyson's son
Yes.
a couple of years ago, and he just played Billy Flynn, who is razzle-dazzling them, in case you need to do this again. He just did this in London. So, I'm sorry. So, Cuba's coming October 6th through November 18th at the Ambassador Theater.
Yes.
And a Broadway favorite just got married. Yay!
Yes.
Love a marriage story.
So
We love
Tony
a marriage
winner
story.
Nikki M James was married over the weekend to her longtime love, Derek Oosterman. Now, Nikki M James is a Tony winner for the Book of Mormon, who we saw most recently on stage in Central Park in their Public Works production of Twelfth Night.
She was amazing.
She's such a treasure.
She
I
is.
love seeing Nikki M James on stage. So they were married in Amsterdam over the weekend. They actually met in 2014 via mutual friends. So single people
Did
take
the Mormons
note.
hook
Yeah, I
them
need
up?
some friends.
You know what? That's a valid question. I don't think that's the case, but many congrats to Nikki and Derek.
Yes, Mazel Tov, you guys.
Mazel.
All right. Well, thank you, Andy.
You bet.
We will be right back with Jelani, but Caitlin's going to tell us all about him.
Yes. Guys, we have Jelani Remy in the studio with us today. After being the king of Pride Rock and Lion King, he is now singing a new tune in Smokey Joe's Cafe off Broadway at Stage 42. Before making his Broadway debut in The Lion King in 2015, he was a part of the national tour of the same Disney hit, and he toured in High School Musical, so there's something about Disney going on there. Be sure to leave all your questions in the comments below and follow him on Instagram at It's Jelani Remy. And please welcome Beth and Jelani.
Thank you. It is Jelani Remy.
It's me.
It is.
Side note, I also played Mr. Cellophane.
Yeah.
Mr.
Where?
No, I didn't.
Cellophane. Oh,
But
man.
she knows the song, so that's what's important.
I know the
Hey,
song.
welcome.
Hi.
Is it weird for you to be here and not talk about The Lion King exclusively?
Well, let's go and say I love The Lion King.
That's true.
Shout out to everybody at Lion King.
We know they're watching.
But now I'm in this amazing show called Smokey Joe's Cafe.
I love Smokey Joe's Cafe. You're so good in it. And of course, these are the songs of Lieber and Stoller.
Yeah, we do.
And they wrote just gazads. I think
Over
that's the
40
word.
songs we go through in a 90-minute show, so it's count them, and it's hit after hit, and you're like, oh, they wrote that song?
Yeah.
They wrote Stand By Me? They wrote Hound Dog? Jailhouse Rock? Like, I didn't know, but now I know.
Now you know. Now you're deep into it. But the great thing about this show, something we didn't see you do that much of is, Simba, is you're dancing your feet off.
We are dancing, we're moving,
You're
and it
shaking it.
feels good. It feels good. Josh Bergas did an amazing job choreographing the show and sort of figuring out what works for our bodies and what we have here, and the chemistry with Dion Figgins as well. So I'm learning a lot, I'm loving a lot, and dancing a lot.
How obsessed are you with Lieber and Stoller songs now?
Completely.
Completely.
Yeah.
Because they're the kind of songs that have hooks, and you just have them in your head, and you don't realize it, and then, but you know all the words to these songs, even if you didn't grow up with them.
Exactly. It's like the foundation of rock and roll was their music.
Yeah.
Song after song after song.
It's so cool. It's so cool. So let's talk about the songs you sing in the show.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about your track.
So right out the gate, I do Youngblood, which
Love it.
is the song I sing to Dion Figgins, sort of like, I love that girl, she's gonna be mine, I can't
a
get her out of my
strutting
mind.
song.
But it goes from Neighborhood, which is so chill and like reminiscent, to ba-boom. So it packs a punch.
Yeah.
Like, you got that? Ba-boom.
That's just a little taste right there.
Next song after that is Keep On Rolling. So I'm in the quartet.
So the quartet are four guys.
Yes.
I
Myself.
think of them as the on Broadway because
Sure.
that's like a famous Smokey
That's
Joe's
fair.
number.
That's fair.
You all know that song, don't you? Give me a little on Broadway. No? Okay.
Say the neon lights.
That song. Because Broadway, ooh, look, she
That was
squealed.
good.
There was squealing. Let the record show squealing occurred. So you sing that song. So you're with those three other guys.
But that song is like near the end.
Right, right.
We do a whole slew of other songs like Keep On Rolling. We do Along Came Jones. We do Poison Ivy. We do I give them all away. Should I
Love
keep
Potion
going?
Number
Love Potion
Nine.
Number 9. That's also at the end.
I know, but I'm just saying all my favorites. Go on.
Exactly. There's also a really beautiful rendition of Loving You that they turned into a 5-part harmony song. It's like a barbershop situation.
It's completely arranged differently than the original
Oh,
Smokey
definitely.
Joe's.
Yeah.
Smokey Joe's was on Broadway in the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
Big hit. Ran for 5 years or so.
It did.
And this is different. This is a totally new.
This is a whole fresh new take of it. But it also pays homage to the original, and the classic and the nostalgia of that era.
Also, it's a review, which doesn't happen as much as it used to, where they would just roll out these amazing songs and sing them and not try to make, a Mamma Mia type story around them.
There are some through lines, so there's something that you can sort of...
Characters, sort of.
Exactly, but we're having a good time on stage.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this cast, because you guys are tight.
Oh my gosh, this cast, we're all so different, and
Yeah.
everybody is so amazingly talented and open and wonderful that being on stage is just chemistry and energy. It's just thrilling every night.
Do you have a little bit of Lion King moments where you're like, I miss this. I should be putting on my makeup right now. Do you have like that?
I'm like,
where's
okay.
where's my
The hardest
puppetry?
thing is doing choreography and not doing like a lion move or something like that, like a head, something like that. Like that all has to go. Josh was like, okay, you're no longer in the Pride Lands, you are in the cafe. So,
put down that crown.
but it's just ingrained in you, so it's about shaking that out.
All right, I know we have a gazillion questions because everybody loves you because you're one of our vloggers.
Yes.
Listen,
And one of our great vloggers.
I
through the
had so much
Pride of
fun with that
Broadway.
vlog. It
You
was so
really-
fun.
You took it on and you really went for it with it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, how are you doing over there, Caitlin?
I'm
You okay?
good. I'm
You good?
living. I'm
Okay,
living.
Let's take some questions for Jelani.
Sure. Yes. Okay. So, what was it like to go from being in Lion King for so long to kind of taking on this like new New York adaptation of this?
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know, but I've been with the Lion King for almost like 8 years. I started in
That's
the
amazing.
ensemble in Las Vegas, and then took over as Simba on the road, and then came here to Broadway for 3 glorious years. And now to build a show from the ground up, I was like, what's this process?
Wait, let's go back further. So when you were growing up in New Jersey,
Yeah,
you
Cedar
were
Grove, New
obsessed with the
Jersey.
Lion.
Hi, Mom.
Shout out to Jersey. You were obsessed with Lion King then,
Of
is
course.
that correct?
Yes, and if we're gonna go really particular, I was in the Rising Star program at the Paper Mill Playhouse. Yes.
Did you
and,
know Laura
um,
Benanti?
Fun facts.
So was she. I think all New Jersey actors.
We all know each other.
Yeah. Go
But
on.
so they do a showcase at the end of the summer, and the song that I was picked to sing by Rob McClure, who was like the head of
Also,
the
yeah.
department,
Whoa.
was Endless Night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Isn't that
amazing. I love this. So you,
that.
but I just want to say that you, because we did, when you started with The Lion King, we interviewed you and you were like, yeah, I had a cassette tape of The Lion King. And I
this
learned all the
story.
parts.
I did.
Yes.
I did.
We don't need to reiterate the story, but now I want to know your feeling about the live action Lion King coming out. Will you be first in line for a ticket?
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay, it's confirmed. You can write about that now.
I'm in the beehive.
You're in the beehive. I mean,
Aren't we all?
I wasn't sure. Now we confirmed
Right.
two things. You're excited.
Confirmed.
You're
Yeah.
excited.
But like I said, so out of that, going into a show that's brand new, that's sort of being catered to you. You know,
Right, you're not stepping
essentially.
into something that's
No,
else
you
originated.
you have a say and you have creativity and you have an artistic freedom that is different. Like, don't get me wrong, Lion King gives you freedom, but this was, you're not playing an animal, you're playing yourself. Like, my character's name is Jelani.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
that's mind-boggling, you know?
So if you get replaced, then they'll be doing the Jelani track. Just saying.
Just saying.
That's how it works.
I love it.
No, but that's the beauty of the show, is that each person who then goes in can make it their own.
That's really lovely. And Josh took that on. Josh made sure that everyone felt comfortable. and
Yeah,
everyone got a
when we
chance
got the
to do that.
librettos, it just said our names, and it was like, oh. Because I was expecting, I thought I was going to be doing the Ken R track.
Right. So in the original cast, Kennard did a lot of these songs, although not all of them.
No.
They mixed it up a little bit, and he was one of the quartet.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they went on tour, it was just the Kennard track,
Got
right,
it.
or the Victor Trent Cook track.
And now?
And now it's a Jelani Remy track, ladies and gentlemen.
OG. I love it.
Oh, gee. Caitlin, what else do we have going on over there?
Yes. Okay. So someone asked. They say that you love teaching workshops for kids. What do you hope kids
do.
take away from those experiences?
Oh, wow.
We got a peek into that on the vlog.
You did. I do a lot of workshops, either my own or through Broadway Classroom or Broadway Workshop. And I just love the kids being able to have a face of someone that they know and sort of a push in the direction that they can do it and they are enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially a lot of the inner city schools, to see a person of color doing it on stage, I think it's also important to know that you can.
What are some of the responses you get when you go to these schools and these classroom situations?
A lot of hugs. A lot of hugs.
We like hugs.
But I think there's something about the magic of theater that these kids really let their guards down and let me sort of take them on a journey, you know, and especially with the catalyst of The Lion King, like using that as a platform, because who doesn't love The Lion King?
First
But-
of all, and also for a lot of kids, it's their first show that they ever see on Broadway.
Exactly. And now I think with Smokey Joe's, it's going to give those same kids a taste of what my parents had. It's sort of the foundation of rock and roll and give them a whole new appreciation of music.
Yeah, and it's also appropriate for children and because it's
Very.
just awesome music.
Yes.
Nothing to be scared of.
Nothing.
No bad words.
But yeah, I do love to teach workshops. I also host a cabaret here in Manhattan once a month, and we always have an up-and-comer come and sing. So it's
So
really
you give
important.
new opportunities to young performers.
Yeah.
Aw,
Look at that.
I
He's
love
such a nice
that.
guy.
Gives back.
He gives
know,
back.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Well, I like this question. So, because these songs are so popular in the show, have you had any fun like audience reactions, or like how is the audience
Oh
kind of
my
interpret?
Goodness. Okay.
I can't imagine not having an audience. that
The
doesn't
beauty
sing
of the
along.
show is people are hooting and hollering the entire time.
Right.
You know, so especially in Alicia's song "Trouble,"
Oh yeah.
where she sings like, "My middle name is," people always say "Misery," and she's like, "Yeah, yeah."
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's the lyric.
But like that's the beauty of the show, is that we want people to have a good time, and people are going to have a good time because everybody's fierce.
So I was really lucky, and you guys can watch this on Broadway.com. I got to interview Mike Stoller, and
What?
he said, yeah, and who wrote the music with Jerry Lieber, and he said he was so excited to have musical theater performers do this music because they can dance, and because they interpret it in a different way than all the famous people who sang it, Elvis and whoever.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it your style.
Well, I think each song has a beautiful story in it.
Yeah, there's
and
a
so
little bit
it's-
of a narrative to each song.
Yeah, it was our job to sort of figure that out and make it clear and make it honest.
Is there a moment that you look forward to every night?
Oh man, I really love Spanish Harlem.
That's a good song. And also one of those songs where you're like, they wrote that? I didn't know
Right.
They wrote that.
Right, and it's just this. It sort of looks like it's out of a movie how it's staged. So I really love that. And shout out to Dion Figgins.
I love that. Okay, I have another question. Juliana asks, what has been the biggest pinch me moment of your career?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Tell us your pinch me
Yeah, I
moments.
know.
If there's more than one.
Meeting Mike Stoller, I think that was pretty pinch me.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, he's in his maybe early 80s. He's been around for a long time, and he's got stories for days.
So many stories. He worked with Elvis. Come on.
That's
Right.
wild.
Another pinch me moment was seeing the set for the first time. Because, like I said, it was the first time I clipped my wings out of my Lion King family, and it was in a new show that was for me. And it was just like, wow, you've done it.
You're getting to show off a different part of yourself as a performer.
I agree.
And that's not something not everyone gets to do.
I feel really fortunate for it, and I feel really just happy.
Yeah. You just got to shake off those Lion King moves. You're fine.
Oh, God, not possible.
I love that.
Okay.
But
Sorry, go on.
but I
No,
got to
keep
go
going.
back. The other pinch me moment was I got to meet Michelle Obama in the White House.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you because
I
that's
see
like
your fa-
your.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look. Oh, see. Yeah. Kyle's.
I
he's-
mean-
there's like jaw dropping. Tell me everything about Michelle Obama. Did you hug her?
She smells like the most,
Like moonbeams?
just
Yeah,
happiness and hope. That's what it's But she was so genuine. She gave
Yeah.
us all hugs, and she also gave all of our families access to take a tour of the White House.
That's very generous. Oh,
Yeah.
look at
Nice.
jaw dropping in this room.
I
That
just-
was a big
That's a
moment.
pinch me moment.
We love her.
So I love that one of your pinch me moments is performance based, and one is like, and I got to meet someone awesome. Just saying, because she came to see The Lion King. Is that correct?
No,
Or you
actually,
were performing for her.
we got asked to do the kids' state dinner. So
Oh.
they took
Okay,
us
that's
to
what it was.
D.C. We got to get our makeup done in the White House. It was just a really cool experience to be a part of that.
So then, did you
Casual.
tour the White House?
I did the week after because my
With your
parents were
family?
coming up.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
she wasn't
exciting.
there.
She wasn't there
I think she has
with
something
like
to
cookies. No. I'm
do.
so
No.
disappointed.
She's a
in
little busy,
Michelle.
I guess.
She was a little.
She's a little busy. She's out in the garden.
Yeah, yeah.
She was gardening.
love
She's
it.
busy.
I love it. We can do one more question. And so, what is the biggest thing that Simba has taught you as a person, and what is the biggest lesson you've learned so far doing Smokey Joe's?
Ooh, these are deep.
lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this.
All right, here we
The
go.
biggest
Lessons.
thing that Simba taught me. Well, I feel like I grew into him.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like as my life was, progressing and I was going through hardships and wonderful times as well, like that made me connect to Simba's journey because he's got that
He goes
journey.
through it.
Yeah, he goes through it, and I didn't really understand it until I understood it. If
I
that
hear
makes
you.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah.
you lived with him for a long time.
Yeah, yeah, and they cast me when I was younger, and a lot of the things of despair and or falling in love for the first time really hadn't happened to me. So once it did, I understood it better, and I think I made it a more truthful performance. And now
And now that you're on the Jelani track, what are you learning?
I'm learning that Jelani.
Can do it.
No, no. It's. I just love to perform. I really love what we do as artists, and I love being able to explore that and to have a show like this that gives us the leeway to go explore and have fun and just show yourself.
Yeah.
I love that.
Different aspects of yourself.
Different aspect of yourself.
Jelani, you are a delight.
You're a delight.
Come back anytime.
Happily.
Anytime. Anytime you want to sing to us, go ahead. So thank you for coming in. Caitlin, will you take us out?
Of course. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to all of our interviews in a podcast form by searching for hashtag live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button so you stay up to date on all the biggest Broadway news and interviews. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we talk to Mary Lou Henner from Getting the Band Back Together.